It's Lester here of the Transformation Station. I'm just having an interview with Carrianne, who had suffered from schizoaffective disorder, and she's been through a whole lot of stuff with the Transformation Station and is in a totally different place now. So just kind of going through her journey from, mental illness to having more robust mental health now. Just going to share a little bit of her story. So say hello, Carrianne.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, so thank you for coming along. So your story was really, really interesting because we met on a life coaching course a couple of years ago. I noticed that you looked a bit nervous and a bit unsure, but you seemed to be really, passionate and interested in the subject. And anyway, can you give a wee bit about your background? Because you had, how long was it you had in the mental health situation for? How many years was it?
Well, I'm not completely out the system yet, but it would be 25 years in August since I've been involved with the Royal Edinburgh Hospital in Edinburgh.
Wow, 25 years. And were you incarcerated for some of that time? Is that the right word?
Not really, it's a bit old-fashioned.
What's the word that you'd use?
I would say banged up.
Oh, you were banged up. Okay, so you were banged up.
The most amount of time was 2 years in one lot, in one session. I was in for 2 years at one point, and at another point I was in for 6 months.
Okay.
But usually it was just a couple of months or 3 months or whatever, but sometimes it was quite lengthy.
So they just you just had no freedom in that time?
No, I wasn't even allowed out of the hospital.
Right.
I wasn't even allowed in the grounds. Right. I was basically kept under lock and key because I was a danger to myself.
Oh, right, okay. So obviously you'd had, there were some stressful things that happened in your life. We're not really going to go into those because, it's kind of personal to you. But what kind of effect, what was it like having, this, what's called schizoaffective disorder? How did it affect you day to day?
It started off when I was younger by being a sort of bipolar illness, and then later on I was diagnosed with bipolar in actual fact, and then later on the schizophrenia kicked in, and I was suffering from psychosis, anxiety, depression, basically every mental. I think I've suffered from nearly every mental illness there is. Paranoia as well was a big part of it. Psychosis was when you thought things that weren't real. A lot connected with religion and stuff, but that wasn't my fault. That was just the way my psychosis developed itself.
Mm-hmm.
Other people have had the same experiences as me, but probably the worst part of it was the voices. I had heard a lot of voices and stuff, and at one point I heard the devil's voice and thought I was going to hell and everything like that. I was in a terrible state and everybody was trying to help me and it wasn't happening. But I don't have any symptoms of mental health now.
Right, okay. So that was a really scary time for you, and I think you mentioned that you were always, fighting the devil and this kind of thing. Yeah, okay.
Sounds a bit strange to me.
Yeah. So when you joined the course, I think you said something to me that you knew that was going to be a life-changing moment for you.
The minute I clapped eyes on you, I thought there's something about this guy, he's going to solve my problem. I really didn't know why. And I remember thinking you were a lot like my father, and I thought, the different books you had and stuff with the exact same ones that were my dad's favourite. And my dad was very like you when he was young, wanting to be successful, and he took hypnotherapy courses and all the rest of it. So you reminded me a lot of my dad, and I just got a good vibe from you, and I thought, that this could be really helpful.
Right, brilliant. Okay, excellent. So when in the class, I think we did a past clearing exercise, and I remember it was like a meditation, but there is actually hypnotic change in that. And I remember you coming out of that, and you just looked different at that point.
Mm-hmm. What I found was that everything you did in the class was really, really helpful, and something kept bringing me back, and my nerves were terrible, and I was in a terrible state, because I wasn't really I was still suffering a lot from illness, and I always tried to get to the class and go to the class, and that was really unusual for me because I couldn't go anywhere with my mental health problem. It involved strangers. So, but now I'm going to all the different sorts of things now, you know, that I never was able to do before. It's particularly in the last couple of months, things have just been absolutely brilliant, you know.
Good. Oh,
and I'm actually going to start other craft classes quite soon.
Good, right.
But what I learned in the classes was really good, especially things like getting out of your comfort zone and stuff like that, and meditations and stuff. They were all really good.
Brilliant. And I think when you came to the class, you had, one time you went out for a cigarette because you were surprised because you were the only smoker in the class.
I did it every week, actually.
Yeah, and also you said that you had, what was it you had in your bag for a bit of courage? Remember you said you had cans of lager or something.
Oh yeah. I had already prepared myself for after the course that I would have some drink available to me after. I didn't mind dragging in bottles of wine because...
Yeah, but you didn't really realise that it wasn't a normal thing to carry alcohol about with you everywhere you go.
I understood. Well, I was used to people who would have thought that was okay. So in the hospital and stuff, friends that I had and was involved with at that time would have thought that was perfectly okay.
Okay.
But now I realise that you don't do that.
Then you came to, after doing the course, you booked a session or two with me in for smoking. What's happened since then with the smoking?
Since the meal, I've given up smoking for 2 years.
Wow.
And to be honest, I never ever imagined I would do that. And I never ever imagined that I wouldn't want a cigarette. I mean, now it's just like an absolute breeze. I don't even think about cigarettes. I'm not even remotely interested in cigarettes.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
I would say to anybody, even if they're struggling after 3 months and thinking I would still like a cigarette, to just keep going, because it's basically, once you get over the year mark, it's just not a problem anymore.
Yeah, totally. Obviously we did, you had unconscious change as well, which helped there. So then you got an award from your mental health provider for needing less assistance or less help. What was that about?
Well, see, I used to have support workers come in and visit me at one point every day, because I'd had a severe breakdown of 2 years in hospital. Every review that came up, I said, right, can I have a day off, can I have a day off, can I have a day off? And eventually whittled it down to nothing. But it was basically the confidence that I got from the course and the appointments that gave me the courage to say, right, I've had enough of this, ta-ta.
Brilliant.
And that was basically what happened as a result of meeting Lester. I mean, I tell Lester all the time, if I hadn't met him, I wouldn't be as happy and as together and everything as I am today.
Right, that's great. Because obviously, as well as the smoking, we were working on helping you to clear stuff, to be happier with, your own state of mind as well. And one of the benefits that you had from giving up cigarettes was that they managed to reduce your medication that you had quite a bit, didn't they?
Yeah, they reduced the support and the medication, and I basically, I'm on a very, very low dose of medication now. I'm actually on 75 milligrams of medication, and people can be on up to 900 milligrams of medication, so it's a significant drop. And I just wanted to say, I never actually answered your question properly before. Yes, I did get an award, and it was for achievement in the respect that I didn't have as much support and was building a life for myself. That's what I got an award for.
Isn't that brilliant? Just to explain to everyone what happened with the medication, as well as having, being in a better place mentally and more, in control of your life. Medication that is designed to make people calmer, if that's competing with nicotine, which is a stimulant, then it's got to work harder. So when we got rid of the cigarettes, the thing that was doing the calming didn't have to work as hard. So that was one of the reasons as well where we could reduce the medication. So the next thing was, you did have a bit of an alcohol problem, and I found it a bit frustrating because there was, when you were completely sober, in very many ways you're mentally quite stable and quite together and quite healed in a lot of ways. And I think I got quite a few emails from you saying that. But then some stressful thing would come along that was nothing to do with that, and you'd maybe drink a bit, and when you were drinking, some of the mental health issues would come back temporarily, and I found that kind of frustrating. So one thing I did for you was I did an MP3 recording, hypnotherapy recording, to work on reducing, your dependence on that.
The MP3 recording was probably one of the best things that I've had. It was probably one of the best strategies that Transformation Station used, because everything that I dreamt of was in that MP3, and you knew me really well because you got to know me and you knew me really well, and I couldn't have done it any better myself, and you never missed anything out, so it was very good.
Right, good, yeah, excellent, good. And what happened was, I think, you had times where you managed to stop drinking for periods of time, and then, sometimes you'd start again, and that was obviously a bit of a concern. And one of the things that, fortunately you kept coming to see me for the odd session, and one of the things that we hadn't really worked on was the multiple personalities issue. What we'd done is we'd managed to get rid of several of the personalities, I think, but there was still one that was there that was kind of dark and was making you do things that you didn't really want to do. And we did a session together, and I actually managed to help you to finally clear that, so that you just heard your own voice again. So how did that feel for you when you went through that?
Well, I don't actually hear any voices now at all.
Right, okay.
I don't hear any at all. And that means when you told me to stop fighting my illness and all as well, I thought, well, how can I fight it but not fight it? And what I did was I thought to myself, I'll try affirmations and relaxation and stuff and see if that helps. But you had sort of planted the seed in my mind by saying no fighting and also being calm, which were the two things that I did in my own way. And that and the voices and everything have gone, so the only thing that's left is peace of mind, and feeling really relaxed and not having anything that's disturbing within me,
Brilliant. And just to explain to everyone what I was meaning by that with the fighting thing is, you get people saying, they've been told that they should fight their illnesses and they should fight for this and fight for that, and through the law of attraction, which tells you that your thoughts become the things in your life. If you're fighting things all the time, then you're attracting more situations of fighting, and fighting is is a negative word, so you're attracting negativity as well. Whereas what I was suggesting to Carrianne was that she steps into calm, and that she embraces calm in her life, and that she makes peace with parts of her life, and just by doing that was a very healing thing and very freeing, I think, as well, isn't it?
You were saying about me having a problem with the drinking as well. I would just like to say that I'm 3 months without alcohol.
Yeah, which is awesome.
It was actually 3 months sober on Saturday. It's now Monday, and it was the 2nd of May that I was 3 months sober, which is really, really cool, because I've met lots of people that don't make it that far.
Yeah, it's
and
incredible.
I took me all my time to make it that far, because before I could only stop for a maximum of 3-4 weeks, but now I'm 3 months and I would never go back. It's like the cigarettes, I just treat it with the same contempt.
Brilliant, excellent. We've just gone for a meal just to celebrate that. That's 2 years that she's gone without smoking, 3 months without alcohol, and it looks like that's going to continue. And also, you got signed off from the care system in some way. What was that?
Yeah, for years, as well as the support, I had a care manager. The support was dropped about a year ago. I had a care manager who I had years ago as well, who I got on really, really well with years ago, but not so much this last year. And I really wanted out of the system, and I said it quite a few times, and actually did it quite a few times, sort of walked away and then came back, because I'm not having anybody to talk to. But in the end, what happened is they actually said to me, well, you've been doing really well the last 3 months, so in actual fact, when somebody does this well, it doesn't happen a lot, but we discharge them from CRT, which is the community rehabilitation team. So I've not got, like what people know of, a care manager's like a CPN. I've not got anything like that anymore. All I have is a psychiatrist, which I must see because my medication has got to be monitored, so I've got to have a psychiatrist for that. I have to have her on board with the type of medication I'm on, but when I get off that medication, I don't necessarily have to have anything to do with anybody from
How often do you have to see that person?
3 months every 3 months.
Right, so that's not too big of an effect on your life, is it?
No.
So also you've had, one of the things that happens with hypnotherapy is when we make a change, we give new empowering alternatives, and I was just noticed that you've got involved in a lot of new activities like swimming, and I think you go to church and different things like that. What new positive things are you doing now?
Well, I'm swimming and I'm a member of a private gym, and because I'm sort of like a student, I'm returning to my studies in October. So I've got my studies, I go swimming, I do a writers group, I go to church, I see friends. I'm just about to start a meditation and an art class. So I do quite a lot.
Right, good. And I think you've managed to de-junk your life and tidy up things. And
my mum's just actually, for my birthday, going to buy me double glazing, and I've got enough money from saving from stopping smoking mainly to decorate my flat, so Fantastic. It's going to be worth a few pennies more than what it is already.
Brilliant, excellent, great. Well, thanks so much, Carrianne. There's one other thing that you mentioned this week which was really cool. Obviously we had the MP3, which is talking about your body healing itself, and you've been doing a lot of good work yourself with reading and affirmations and positive
I do
work.
all that as well on top of my interests as well.
Yeah, and you've become quite knowledgeable about it as well now. And you were saying you had an effect with your skin, that there were some bumps on your skin that that normally doctors would say wouldn't change, but have had a change. What's happened there?
I think what happened with Lester's course was that it reminded me of everything that every personal developer had ever said.
Yeah.
And Louise Hay says, any illness is a state of unforgiveness, and also if you love yourself, that'll go away. So I had a couple of really horrible marks on my skin, and I just put cream on them one day at the gym and said some sort of affirmation. I can't remember what it was something to do with love and I love you or whatever, but I don't need you now, so go away or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but that's probably what it was. Now I've still got one mark over my eye, but it's fading, and the other two have faded completely.
Fantastic. Isn't it amazing? And you had 3 doctors said to you
it was permanent.
Yeah. And
it could get worse.
Right, brilliant. And obviously with the work that we've been doing, it's all about, it's all going to get better, and everything's going to heal, and And you're taking those learnings yourself and using them in just all different aspects of your life like that.
Yeah.
So that's brilliant. So that is fantastic. So I think is that your whole journey? Have we recapped on most of it?
I think that is my whole journey,
Right.
actually.
Excellent.
Just want to thank the Transformation Station for changing my life, really.
Brilliant. That's my pleasure. It's a real honour, and it was a real challenge, actually. You know,
it was a challenge, but there was times
challenge.
when you were like, oh, come on. And I was like, I promise I'll stop this time. And I was like, it just wasn't happening, you know, because I've known people who've tried dozens of times to stop drinking, and I tried a good 6 or 7 times to stop drinking. But it was only, you know, when I thought, right, I'll give it a go.
I think it was also the fact that, you know, as your therapist, I need to find new ways to help you. So if something doesn't work, it doesn't mean it's your fault. It just means I haven't found, or either of us haven't found the solution yet. And obviously, through the course of doing things, we found the solutions. And you know, for you, I think the big thing was, you know, clearing the voices, and that were making you do things that you didn't want to do, and also to focusing on, you know, being at peace with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And when you did that, that's when
I think that's probably I think that was the crucial thing, you know, but it was finding peace with myself, you know. I think that was probably more important than anything, really.
So that was a real key. So so just thank you very much, and I really appreciate you sharing that, because it will, you know, hopefully help other people to open up to their own healing.
Well, hopefully people will come to you and get the kind of help that I've had, and which is, you know, been life transforming, you know. So
brilliant. I mean, the thing is now, because of the work I've been through and because of helping you out, Carrianne, I've got so much more skills now because I had to develop them, and also with helping a lot of other people. So I mean, I've had people come to see me who've had mental health challenges and actually managed to turn it around in one session, you know, and you know, which is incredible. And had I not been through the work that I did with you, maybe I wouldn't be able to do that so quickly for them, you know. So so thank you very much. You know, it's been good for me too. So so that's us. So that's Lester from the Transformation Station saying goodbye for just now. And I'll just have a bye from Carrianne.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.